Neurotic. Let me introduce you to what neurotic is. These books right here. That's one of them. This is another. This dude is early 1900s, man. See? All the pages are like that, folks. Marked up. I write books on top of books. And I'm still finishing this one. But this one's more so marked up because it's got way more years of interest in it. Interest build up. Talking to the property manager today. Interest. The emails are on the subject of Lane County interest. Hold on, I got fish heating up. Hold on now. I've got the MK Ultra mind control robot computer. People are sending me hey, you're wonderful, you're wonderful, Russell, you're wonderful, Just Play Man, you're wonderful. Comments. Oh, you're awesome. This is, and I realize it's all mind control. And I'm mind controlled too, folks. See, but I live in a constant consciousness that this mind control is going on all the time, and I've trained myself to be conscious of it all the time. And it took a few years to do it, folks. With other couple years of training on top of that, probably more than a couple years of training on top of that. And I know what it's like to hear the information and then forget about it the next day because we get wrapped up into life's toils. Like that, my mind is thanking on the YouTube comments. It's going through and it's processing. This is what music does, folks. It helps us to process thoughts. there does seem to be too much electric guitar on these videos here lately, and that's just because I haven't had electric guitar in a while. And I'm still calibrating the whole fucking system now that we're back online after 5 years of being off. When I say 5 years of being off, 5 years of being off utilities, off the grid. Have to, and I don't just get in there and just recalibrate everything in one day. I balance everything, and usually it's a little bit out of balance. I do a lot of playing, and then minute amp adjustments. A lot of playing until I get tired of the sound, and I'm looking for the balance between the acoustic. If you're an avid listener, because I'm an avid listener too, man. I'll watch the vids too, man. That's the only reason I make the vids, so I have something to watch. Because I don't watch TV, folks. I have no computer here at the house. I have no internet. Because we're waiting on the Treasury Fund access for those things to be honorable with the international law. But there is such thing as temporary funding and temporary money and temporary credit, and all this other temporary stuff. But I had this one YouTuber, and I answered them on a comment, and I'm letting them know, just to let you know, I'm not your hero, because that's just kind of what came out. When I hear stuff like, oh, you're great, you're funny, and I've been watching you for years, I think to myself, oh my God. It's like someone's bowing down to me, and I don't like that feeling. Although that might not be the intention. This is just a problem I have. So don't feel bad, if you do that, because I've done it too. Hey, brother, I've been watching you for years. I think you're awesome, you're funny, and stuff like that. Although I really haven't. Maybe I have, to some extent. But I've always been kind of like self-confident ever since UT came out. I always made it a point when I do videos, I'm not here to stroke your fluff. Make you think you're wonderful and great. I mean, if you're wonderful and great, you'll know it. There don't need to be no fluff added to it. Although it is nice to hear the fluff. But what I'm saying is that you learn and hear the neurotic condition of humanity. That's the neurotic compulsion. Humanity has, gone through a fucking and been fucked raw. And we have all these bad habits because of, and it's just the inner child quest. That's all it is. And it's hard to get past the bad habit of being mad at everything. Oh, them fucking pedophiles, oh, those deep staters, oh, the fucking murderers, those fish filleters, them fucking abortionists, them fucking, and then on the other side, the deep staters are mad at Trump. That fucking Trump, those fucking church fucks, those fucking moralists, googly, godly, them fucking audit balancers or whatever the fuck. And I'm here to say, that's just our inner child that needs love, so that we learn how to have compassion, speak with compassion to one another and with one another, irregardless if we're the worst pedophile, murderers, ass, dick sucking, pussy licking, transsexual, faggot fucking, whatever the fuck you want, stealing, killing, murder, filleting, torture. None of creation deserves, no matter what our bad habit is that we've inherited through our genes, through time and all that shit. None of us deserves to be talked to in such degrading fashions, even if it's just in a casual term. of fucking frazzled rat bullies. We don't deserve that. You know, and it's just a mere reflection of how we beat ourselves up, because we're just beating ourselves up. It shows how we dislike ourselves, our suicidal tendencies, our unloving self-worth tendencies. These are all just bad habits. But what I'm saying is a lot of it, the details are explained in these books, Wilhelm Reich books. You know, although, you know, Wilhelm just has, you know, a certain perspective on it. He doesn't have the whole picture. That's why we have to read all the different material, listen to all kinds of people, and get a wider range and get a fuller picture. Anyway, so I'm like Will Rogers. If you go back in history, YouTube the Will Rogers video. The brother just sat there and he played his rope. He swirled his rope while he spoke. He shared the philosophy, all his understandings, he shared them. Although he would get shot if he shared with you too much like I share with you today. Today we have lean positions. Private maritime law to mix in with a balance to keep ourselves from getting shot. We have this YouTube, private and the public. Although YouTube also has bad habits, and they slam people because they don't want to hear what you got to say. Or they think it's immoral. They think it's going to harm the children. Some people think the children don't need to know this stuff. And, you know, so I say each to their self. But let's get past this, you know, until we all have the power to generate an internet station for ourselves, which we do have that power. We can generate internet stations for ourselves where we don't need other people's internet. But as the time is, you know, they're the only ones that control it right now. Until we get the audit balance and realize that, you know, hey, you know. But that's why I'm here. I'm an international universal auditor. Am I perfect? No. Do I have all the answers? No. Do I have a lot of the answers? Probably, yeah. Are there others that have a lot of the answers too? Yeah. Or do our answers sometimes differ? Yeah. You know, that's why we get together at the round table, this YouTube County Round Table, International Universal County Round Table, and share. Although there are some who don't want to hear it at the table. There are some who control the table and say, you can't say that at the table. But we're looking for the different avenues, or whatever the fuck's words we want dictionary together and get down with our clowns. What's neurotic? Neurotic is just the same thing as what I'm doing right now. Fucking on and on and on and on and on, because there's no satisfaction. I'm constantly fucking talking because we're looking for the balanced remedy where humanity and all creatures are all somewhat the same knowledge level, where we can breathe together. We don't have to explain ourselves to each other anymore. That's that ESP, the intention. We read everyone's intention, and we see without having to explain stuff with words. It's just instant boof. So in this kind meantime, we have to spit out all these fucking words. But we do it because it's a bad habit. It's our bad habit to want to correct things and prove that, you know, we're not, prove this and prove that. That's just what's called neurotic, compulsive. It's like pacing around in a cage. It's like a rat wheel spinning and running the wheel all the time. You ever look to just sit down one spot and just be peaceful and quiet? It doesn't last long. You got to get up and start pacing around, walking around. Even if you get rid of all the televisions, all the microwaves and everything. I'm telling you, folks, I have experienced all kinds of shit. The fucking pacing, and I still I replace television entertainment with self-entertainment. I talk to myself. I go out in the backyard and talk to all the neighbors out in the backyard as though I'm giving concerts and shit and fucking keynote speakers. I'm telling you, folks. So So, that YouTube Will Rogers, the brother with his rope. So I'm like, don't call me Will, though. In fact, let's get rid of that word for a couple 100,000 centuries. We don't want to do no more wills, as in going into a grave. Our bad habit loves to use that word will and just keep destroying ourselves, keep going in graves. That's just our bad habit. In our hearts, we know we want to live forever. We don't need no more wills. Whether we're a blue state or a red state or a purple state or whatever. I'm here to say, in our hearts, when we think no one's listening to what we have to say, we actually kind of want to, although on the other side of the fence, there might be those who just love dying. And they look at that as a wonderful question. Like they say, like, well, damn, I could die from being a human and be a bear. I'll put my hope in being a bear. Maybe I want to be a rock or a blade of grass. Some people look forward to that stuff, man. And I say, more power to the philosophy. Each one is allowed to have their attractive existence in the world. You want to be a rock or a blade of grass and get cut up like a lawnmower 1,000 times? Have at it, man. Whatever tickles the fancy, get your tweaky. Don't touch yourself on the YouTube video because they're getting down on that. You can't touch yourself. You can't manipulate yourself. Until their bosses start to see someone like me and understand someone like me a little bit more and more. Because I'm like I always tell everyone, I'm the blasphema. I know I am. But I'm not here to say, look at me, I'm your hero. I'm just here to say, look what influence has upon the world. Influence, it's influence. That's all it is, reputation and influence. That's important to have influence. It is. Because there's a lot of people that are looking for answers. started doing YouTube, folks, that's all I did was solo stuff. I would play a few chords maybe, or maybe not even no chords at all. But I had the chords playing in the mind. See? And all those people heard was a solo. And one of the beauties with soloing, folks, hold on, we're at 20, fuck.